Alright, so I get asked all the time how I started making YouTube videos. They want to know my camera gear, they want to know what I use, how I use it, why I use it. People are really into starting YouTube channels, they want to get into it, they want to be better at it. And so in this video I'm going to go over what I did to get started. I've made this video a few times already, but I got about 250 videos under my belt now, and so I have a lot more knowledge than I did in those previous videos. And so I'm gonna go over the stuff I wish I knew, the stuff I wish I wouldn't have wasted money on, the stuff that I'm glad I wasted money on, and hopefully by the end of this video you can start a YouTube channel that's just as good, if not better, than mine. Stay tuned. Alright, so when I first decided that I was going to be on YouTube, and I decided that I was going to make videos for as long as they would let me, I pretty much jumped right in. And the very first investment I made was in a Canon T5i. This camera is what taught me everything I needed to know. It taught me how to take pictures, it taught me how to make videos. This is a very capable camera. This thing has gotten me through a lot. I actually use it as my webcam right now. If you guys watch me go live the last Sunday of the month, this is the camera that you'll see. And then the lens that I use is 18 to 55. It's the lens that came with the camera. And I've been using an 18 to 55 for my first 200 videos. The 18 to 55 is a really good lens. Sometimes you have to get the camera pretty far away to get the shot that you want, but it's possible, it's doable. It's a very good lens. I'm actually using an 18 to 55 right now, and I'm getting a really good shot. I got two of these lenses because this camera came with one, and then the camera I have right now came with the same 18 to 55. And so it's a great lens. This is a really good camera. The reason I like this camera and the reason why I'm glad I started with this camera is because it has all the settings that you would see on a little point and shoot camera that you buy. It's got that little rose and the landscape, and it has all the settings that you would see on a normal camera. But it also has the manual settings, and so I was able to learn how to use ISO, how to adjust my aperture, my shutter speed. This camera taught me a lot, and as I was learning, I was able to just set it on landscape. If I had the river or if I was at a campsite, I could just set it at whatever automatic setting I wanted. Portrait mode, so if I was doing this, I would just set it on the little head so it would focus and do everything it needed to do. And so I was able to make really good videos in automatic modes, and then I was able to take the same camera and go to manual mode and customize it and make it my own. Adjust my ISO, adjust my aperture, adjust my shutter speed, do all of that in camera, adjust my white balance. These are all things that I had to learn, right? I started a camping channel. I started a camping YouTube channel because I wanted to share my knowledge on camping. And I have a lot of camping knowledge, but the thing is it's not good enough for YouTube. You need to have all that knowledge, but you also need to know how to run your camera. You need to know how to adjust your audio. You need to learn how to your composition and your shots, you know, the rule of thirds. You have to know all these things. Just the subject that you are interested in isn't enough. You gotta dive in deeper, and you need to get to know your camera, you get to know your microphone, you get to know tripods and all the other aspects of filming and photography and everything else that's gonna get you on the platform. The other thing that I had to learn is I had to learn SEO. If you're going to be on YouTube, you're going to need to learn how to do SEO, search engine optimization. You're going to need how to tag and title and thumbnails. You got to learn how to do all that. I've never used Photoshop or any kind of photo editing in my entire life. But I had to learn that, you know, on my thumbnails as they keep getting bigger. That's me continuing to learn on photo. I use Affinity Photo. I don't use Photoshop. I use Premiere Elements to edit my videos. It's a one-time. You pay for it one time. It's not a monthly thing. And then I use Affinity Photo, which is again a one-time purchase. It's not a monthly thing like Photoshop. And so I invested once, and now I'm learning, and I'm constantly learning. You'll see my thumbnails changing, and I'm always trying new things because that's the mindset you have to get into. You can't just focus strictly on camping. You have to learn all the aspects of the trade of YouTube itself, right? And this camera really helped me get into it. I wouldn't suggest this camera right now. They are up to the T7i, I think. And the T7i has the same internal parts as my main camera right now, my 80D, which just blows this thing out of the water. It's just, this thing is so irrelevant compared to my 80D. And the new T7i has all the same internal components. It's exactly the same as my 80D, only it's small and has all the presets and doesn't have as much as the manual image stuff that this camera has. But so that would be a really, really good option for you because this one only has 9 autofocus points, where this one has 45, and so it keeps everything in focus way, 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 way better than this. That's the one thing that I hated about this camera, was the autofocus. It was always searching for something to focus on. Where my 80D is just always focused. It's always tack sharp. I never really even have to worry about it. But this thing, I always had to worry about it. I lost a lot of footage from this camera just because it was constantly looking for something to focus on, and it never found it. It just stayed blurry the whole time. So that's something you got to keep in mind. When it comes to tripods, I started off with this Amazon Basics $20 tripod, which is excellent. I really like this tripod. It's quick release, so it comes with a little plate that you screw onto the bottom of your camera, and then it just attaches to the top. You don't have to screw it on and screw it off every time. You just set it on there and it locks on there really well. The legs extend, and again there's just little clips, so it's a very easy and a very fast tripod. The thing that I like everything about it. The only one thing that I don't like about it is it's so light. It's so lightweight. It's made out of thin aluminum, and then everything else is plastic. And so when it's windy, the wind will shake this thing like crazy. And so that's something you got to keep in mind. You got to find a way to anchor this thing down so that's not shaking in the wind. My new tripod is a lot heavier, which isn't always the best thing, especially when I'm backpacking and I have to carry it over a long distance. But I don't have to worry about wind. Everything's made out of metal. But if you're just getting started, this tripod is probably the way to go. I really like this tripod. And then, okay, another thing that I did when I first got started is I was using the microphone that was built in to this camera. And the audio quality is horrible. Like the audio quality, even on my 80D, all the in-body microphones are not good. They're not very good at all. And so what I did was I invested in an external microphone. This external microphone, so it's got a big cord on it. And then it plugs into your camera. And then from there, you're using this instead of what's built in. Now this is supposed to have a little clip on here. I'm going to tell you right now, I've had multiple lav mics and the little clip that clips onto the shirt or clips onto whatever, they don't work. They break all the time. I've broken like 10 of them. So I have a little trick that I'll show you in a little bit. But this is what I used. And the reason I didn't like this is because the cord, this right here, is as far as I could go. Right? I couldn't get any farther away from the camera. I did invest in a extender so I could, it was like an extension cord. And I used that for a while, but the cord, I kept getting in the way, it kept getting tangled on things, I kept tripping on it. I don't like the corded mics. So I saved up, and I ended up purchasing this. Now I keep this in a bag. It comes with a lot of parts. And then I just keep the parts in this bag that I have. And I bought another lav mic, so again, one that clips to your shirt. Now this one comes with 2 microphones. Comes with everything you need to hook up 2 people. So you have this part right here. And the thing I like about this is you plug in your microphone in the middle, and then you have stereo quality, so the audio will come on both the left and the right speakers. Or you can put one in the left and one in the right, so if you're going to have 2 people talking, you can have put one person on the left, one person on the right, and the audio is going to sound right in the video. And then each left and right has its own dial here, so I don't have to go into the camera settings. I don't got to go to the menu, sound settings, all that. I can just turn this knob to get my sound settings right. And so I really enjoy that. And so this just hooks up here. I'll show you real quick. So that hooks up on top. And then these are the microphones themselves. So then you have your receiver. So you put a receiver on this side. If you were just going solo, you'd put it on the top. But since I'm going to show you both of them, you put a receiver on this side. And then you put a receiver on this side. Now this wasn't cheap by any means. This was a couple $100, but the time and energy I saved investing into this thing was unreal. I saved so it was unreal. It was unreal the amount of time that I saved, not having to mic up all the time, having to figure out where to run that cord. All of that just disappeared when I bought this microphone right here. So we got left on left, right on right. There's these little antennas that go in here. So you can see this is a very big setup. I'm not putting this on tight enough. Alright, so this goes here, this goes here. So you can see it's a big setup. Like I said, it was worth it because Alright, so there's what the camera looks like now. And so you got audio in, audio out. You got to put this in here, and then this is what plugs into the camera. So you got a cable coming from the red thing to the camera, and that's what plugs into here. And then you have the 2 receivers plugged into the left and the right channels on here, and then you can adjust these knobs to adjust the audio. And it adds a lot of weight. This thing is heavy right now, but like I said, I could walk up to the camera, adjust my audio, and that's what it was. I could walk as far as I wanted away. This thing goes through walls and everything. I could literally just press record, walk through my whole entire house, go outside, and I would still have the same audio, right? And so I really like it. I still use this sometimes. And then what I do is, so that's what the camera setup is. And then for this, so you have so that's the receiver. This is the transmitter here. So you have the microphone plugs in here. So you have the microphone, and then you have this, and then this just goes in your pocket, or it can hook to your belt buckle or whatever. And like I said, those little clips, they always break. So what I did is I took 550 cord and I made a necklace, and then I just dangled it. I just wore it as a necklace. And then so this way it was always the same distance from my mouth, and so the audio was ready. I basically turned my camera on, put my necklace on, and just started recording. And my audio was just always the same. It didn't matter what I was doing, where I was going. I could be 100 yards from my camera, I could be 1 foot away from my camera, and my audio was always the same. And my settings were always the same because, like I said, I just put my necklace on, and it was the same distance from my mouth. Everything was always just ready to go. And that saved me a lot of time. I liked that so much. I could just, after work, I could turn the camera on, throw my necklace on, and make a video. A lot of my videos were in this room, you know, just like right here, right now. I would put my tub in front of me, and I'd use it as a table. And I would just talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. And I kind of miss that. A lot of times, I try to please the audience, and so I try to get outside and film outside, which I enjoy doing. I love filming outside, but like right now it's pitch black outside. I wouldn't be able to make this video at all outside, but I can turn some lights on, I can illuminate this room, and even at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I can still make videos in this room. And I think I'm going to try to get back to that, but for this video I'm just showing you this. I wouldn't waste my time with this corded lav. If you can afford this wireless lav mic and put the necklace on it. Another thing is I got black paracord on my main microphone. The one that I used all the time was black paracord, and so that was right. So the black one was always the right one. And then I have camouflage paracord on my backup, and that one was my left. And so if there was 2 people, if me and Caroline were both in the video together, I would be black on the right and she would be camouflage on the left. And so I could look at her and see if she was wearing the black, she had to sit on the right. If she was wearing the camouflage, she had to sit on the left. And it's just a really easy way for me to tell the difference. I don't have to worry about the clips breaking. I don't have to worry about it being closer to my mouth or farther away from my mouth. Or I just put it on and it's always the same. So that is my little hack here. Just make a necklace for your lav mic and thank me later. You'll enjoy that. I see a lot of people always messing with their lav mics, or it's falling off their shirt because the clip is getting weak, and 550 cord necklace. That's how I do it. Alright, so the lav mic. The issue with the lav mic now. The reason that I don't use it all the time is because it takes a lot of batteries. So each one of these takes 2 batteries, and then each one of these microphones takes 2 batteries. So you got 4 AA batteries just to use this. Now you have to turn the receiver on and off, and you have to turn the transmitter on and off. And so what would happen is I would forget to turn one or the other on, and so I'd have 0 audio. Or I would forget to turn one or the other off, and the battery would be dead, and then I would have no battery to make more videos. And I was going through batteries like crazy just because I would forget to turn one or the other off, or I'd forget to turn one or the other on, and so I would have video clips with no audio. And That was kind of a pain. I really enjoy this system. Like I said, I still use it. I'm very glad I have it. I can't go back to not having it. But what I ended up doing to get rid of that issue of the batteries is I bought a different, so this actually comes like this. So this is the Rode Video Mic Go. And these are very confusing. It comes with a red cable, but I use the red cable on my new microphone because I like it so much. So, can I get one of these off of here? And so this plugs in here, and then it goes onto your hot shoe on your camera. This is going to be a long video, but I like sharing this with you guys. So that goes on here, and this hooks onto your camera. Now the reason I have the Video Mic Go, so there's the Video Micro, like in small, like micro. There's the Video Micro, the Video Mic Go, like let's go, and then there's the Video Mic Pro, like professional pro. And when I got this, the Video Mic Pro ran on a 9-volt battery, and because of this system I was sick of batteries, and so I got the Video Mic Go, which doesn't take batteries, it just runs off the battery on your camera. So you run through a lot more camera batteries, but you get the little flashing red, your battery's almost dead on the camera, and then that just means that your camera and your microphone are both going dead. Once you change the battery in the camera, they both are powered again. And I loved that. The thing about it though is you have to adjust the audio. This is a shotgun mic. So it's directional, so I just point it at me and it picks it up. But the farther I get away from it, the quieter I get. So I wasn't able to stand at the camera, adjust my audio, and walk 100 yards away anymore. I had to adjust it based on this microphone. And that's a lot harder than it sounds, especially when you're recording by yourself, because you're standing at the camera pushing the buttons, right? And so I would have to stand at the camera, push the buttons, come sit down, talk, figure it out, and then I'd have to go back and adjust and go back and adjust. But the thing is once it was adjusted, all I had to do was put the camera in the same spot every time, and then it was set, right? So I just leave the camera on the tripod, and then all my videos were in this room, and so my audio was always the same because I'd sit in the same chair, in the same spot, and everything was done the exact same way. But then I started going outside more, and that's where this microphone, it works really, really well. I'm really glad I got it, but that's when I had to adjust the audio. I had to figure out, I had to set up my shot, I had to figure out how far away I was going to be from the camera, and I would have to adjust my audio. Another thing is it doesn't do really well in wind. So that's why I had to get rid of this, and then I bought what's called a dead cat. So this helps with wind noise. So you put that on there, and then that helps with wind noise. And so this was my setup for a really long time, and I really, really liked it. Like I said, I could set this up in my room, my camping room, and I could just have it there, sit here, and make videos. I could make as many videos as I wanted. My audio is always the same. All my settings were always the same. Nothing really changed much. But every time I went outside, I had to adjust and figure this microphone out. But it's not that bad. So this is the setup that I would recommend if you're just getting started. This is expensive. This is kind of expensive. But if you're just getting started and you need something to make videos, this right here is what I would tell you to get with this tripod. Just get the Amazon Basics tripod. It's like 20 bucks. The camera, I don't know. Like I said, I would get the T7i instead of the T5i. And I don't know how much that is. And I think this microphone is like $60, $70. I don't remember. They're really cheap now because Rode has come out with a lot more advanced microphones, and so these are cheap right now. They go on sale all the time. And so this is, if you want to start YouTube and you want to make videos in 1080p, high definition, perfect videos, this camera, well, the T7i, this camera too, with this microphone will get you there. This setup right here is the setup you need to make the best videos you can. Anything else that I would recommend? Not really. When it comes to lighting, it's trial and error. Nothing beats the sun. The sun is the best lighting in the world. I have 2 windows right here, and so when that natural light comes in, that's the absolute best videos. When you see me sitting in the chair and it looks gorgeous, it's because I'm using the windows. Right now you can see the shadows and you can see that it's kind of goofy looking. It's because I'm using my lighting, and that's just something that you're gonna have to play with, because what works in this room does not work in my living room. I have to completely change everything depending on where I'm at, how much room I have in the room. The absolute best is the sunlight, and so if you can get out during the day, do that, because I haven't found any lights at any price that can create the same quality as the sun. So keep that in mind. Yeah, this is another thing that you need is a clicker. This clicker is so you push the button and it starts recording, it stops recording, and that's it. It's just one button, and it works for both. This is a Canon one, so it works for this camera and the camera I'm filming on right now. And this little thing right here, you think that it wouldn't matter? It matters huge, huge, because I can sit here. Another thing I like about this camera is it's got a flip out screen, and so I can put this on the tripod and then I can see myself. The ADD has that too, so like right now I'm staring at myself to make sure I'm staying in frame. So like right now my hand's out of frame, and I know that because I can see myself. And so you sit here and you adjust your chair, you put yourself in the center of the screen, you know, you make sure everything is right, and then you don't have to get up and push record, come back, sit down, and then if you goof up, you have to get up, stop it, and then you have to get yourself together, push record again, come back over here, sit down, try again, and that up and down and up and down and up and down, it makes being creative hard. You know, you're starting to think more about how annoying it is, this up and down, than you are on the content you're trying to create. And so I can sit here and I can stop it. If I goof up, I can stop it, start it again. And this thing right here is worth its weight in gold. Doesn't weigh anything. I usually just keep this in my pocket, especially when I'm out camping. I'll just keep this in my pocket, so if something happens, I can just press record and start recording. This thing is, you need this. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, I highly recommend a little button. So a little button, this doesn't cost much, a $20 tripod, shotgun mic, the video mic Go, a Canon camera, an 18 to 55 lens. This is more than enough to get you started. A lot of people just use their phone. Some people use GoPros. Some people just use whatever camera they have. But this right here, this will get you HD, 1080p, 60 frames per second, high quality, high def videos, right? So it's got autofocus, it's got video, it's got image stabilization, so it doesn't get all shaky. Yeah, great camera, great lens, great mic, great button, great tripod, and all this is going to be in the links down below. So I'm going to leave a link down below to all of my YouTube gear. You click on there, it's going to take you to my store, and then I have a YouTube section, and it's going to have every single thing I use for YouTube. But just focus on the inexpensive stuff. You don't need the high quality right when you're getting started. Alright, so there's one thing that I wanted to mention. And since I'm making the longest video ever, I might as well add it. I don't recommend, when you go to that store, you're going to see the 80D. That's my expensive camera. That's what I'm recording on right now. But I don't recommend starting with that camera. I suggest starting with a T7i or a T5i. You'll see T7, T6, T5. Don't get those. Those are photography cameras. The T5i, the T6i, the T7i, those are the ones that are going to have the video record mode. And that's what you want, because then the T5i doesn't have the record mode on here. It's on the dial. So you just put it in record mode and then that's what you get. Where the T7i or the T5i, you can put record mode and then you can still use all the functions in photography mode or video mode. And so the I is important. But I suggest starting with this one because the 80D doesn't have all of these presets. It doesn't have all the things that you need. So unless you already are very familiar with photography and you know how to adjust aperture and ISO and shutter speed and your white balance and all of that, I would suggest starting with something like this. Because like I said, when I first started, if I wanted something like this, I'd put it in portrait mode. If I wanted to show the background because I was in a beautiful campground, I'd put it in landscape. And it just taught me what the camera was doing. I was seeing what it was supposed to look like, and then I would try to copy it in manual mode. And I don't think I could have learned with the 80D. And I wouldn't have made such great videos in the beginning if I had the 80D because my settings would never be right. And so being able to have these presets really saved me a lot in making high quality videos right off the bat. So with all that being said, I want to know, what do you use for YouTube? And if you don't have a YouTube channel, why? What are you waiting for? Leave all that knowledge and any questions in the comment section. If you're scared of goofing up, I just did. I just get flustered sometimes. I forget what I'm saying. I ramble on too much. Man, it doesn't matter. Just make videos, send them out there, and eventually one of them's going to stick and you're going to be YouTube famous. I haven't been there yet, but I'm going to, because I'm going to be here every Sunday and Thursday talking about camping stuff, not YouTube stuff. But I just wanted to get this video out so that I had something to reference for people in the future. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Use my little clicker.